Rapha, Global Vice President of Design at Coca-Cola, no less. What's your secret?
My secret is probably not thinking about it, because yes, in the beginning when I got this job was pretty overwhelming, right? To think about, okay, you're coming and you're leading a brand and other brands, a company with over a century of existence, of successes. So really, literally paralyzed me. And I said, you know what, I think I'm not gonna think about this. Let me think about the people that I need to lead, the work that I need to lead, the brands that need design help. Something that I thought was important that didn't exist before was a design manifesto, right? So to put on paper and of course digitally, a vision. I mean, what design means for Coca-Cola. I think that was important to define, right? Something that we outlined that to me makes a lot of sense for the brand is what is an iconic design? What are the components of an iconic design? So write it down, right? So it keeps is a piece of legacy that hopefully I'm leaving here for the next generations of designers that will come to the company.
So you love coming to these archives.
Yeah, especially in the beginning of projects. So my team and I would come here downstairs to really get inspiration for things that we are developing today. Like we look into situations that were painted, try to reproduce what is the modern version of that situation today through photography, right?
Yeah.
And even the way the paint was done, how the people were treated compared to the actual product, right? The level of detail that the product is depicted, the color of the glass, color of the liquid is highly detailed. And then people is all about the emotion, right, here.
Yeah.
This one is probably one of my favorites, especially from a composition standpoint, is like this idea of having the copy really highlighting his smile, right? So he's definitely refreshed after Coke, right? And I love this, yeah.
Yeah, and the writing on the face.
Right, it's something that today people still say, no, don't put copy on the face. And this one was exactly about that, right? That's what makes it so good, is that the copy really highlighting his smile.
Over here too, you were saying they had specialist painters that would come in for the different parts.
Now, if you see here, the people like really white brushes, really colorful and trying to get the right expression. And then when it comes to the product, you see there is even a difference in the brush detail, right? So this one is much more detailed and thin. And I think we carry the same thinking even when we're doing photography today, right? So we capture a big emotion in a moment, and then we go after in retouching to really make sure that the product is popping and the colors is right from the glass to the liquid. So something really driving inspiration from the archives to today's work.
And was that like two different painters, was it? The painter for the main picture?
Yes, we do have like two different painters commissioned here in this work, right? One to paint the people and the overall situation, and then when you go to zoom into the product, is a different painter that create that product.
A specialist
in product.
Paint, in product painting.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Why do you come here to look at things like this?
Yeah, because to me is how we create like this timeless brand, right? So we go back to how it was done in the past and try to create like what is the modern version of today, right? I'm from Rio, Brazil. I joined Coca-Cola in 2011. I started as like a design manager in Latin America still, and then I made it to the global team, and then here now leading the global design team. I am the first Latino to hold this position in the company, right, in the global company. But back then when I was in Rio, like studying design in design school there, I couldn't imagine ever that I would be in a position like that. There was something that I always liked was design for the masses, right? I never liked designing for exclusive, like niche. That was always something that fascinated me, like this idea of, okay, something that I'm creating will be people will interact with all over the world, or even a lot of people interacting with something that I created. That to me was always fascinating. So Coca-Cola makes a lot of sense, right? That's also my philosophy on design, right? I think that it should never be about you. It's never about what you think, about your style. It's about the brands that we are designing for, and even the people that we are catering for, right? So I try to be, we say, invisible as possible, right? And really focusing on what's the right work for the brands.
Yeah. I did a little bit of a Google on you before I came, when I knew I was coming to talk to you. Yeah, there's some stuff written about you, but you got to dig quite deep.
I mean, this thing here, it's pretty intimidating to me. I'm not used to this. I'm more into being the back seat and really let the work speak to itself. So I'm never front and center.
Well, I mean, so I'm going to be provocative here, Rapha, but you know, you could just, quite frankly, just keep the seat warm, couldn't you? I mean, what are you going to change the logo?
Yes, people challenge me. What are you doing? I mean, design at Coca-Cola. Are you changing red, or are you doing something different color? But no, I think when you see the way we operate, like in over 200 countries, 200 brands, the size and the reach of everything that we do is massive, right? And of course, to keep this business sustainable and in the future, I think there are other things that we need to tackle on, and design can help, right? We talk about sustainability, right? So how can we create design solutions that can help, that reduce our footprint in the planet, right? So a lot of big challenges, right? And at the same time, like keeping the brands relevant and attractive to younger generations that comes, right?
There's a danger that kids today could think of Coca-Cola as being their parents' drink.
For sure. I think this is something that we do is as a marketing function, right? To really bring younger consumers, right, to the brands. Otherwise, if we don't replenish the consumer base, the brand stops existing.
So Rapha, who is this guy?
He is Robert Woodruff. He was one of our presidents for over 60 years. It reminds me that CEOs can also think like designers.
Because he really took Coca-Cola from being a local Atlanta kind of brand to the world.
Through design thinking, and he was the one that really exported the brand globally. So thanks to him, we now operate over 200 countries, right?
Yeah.
One thing that I really like, and to me is still inspiration for every work that I do and my team does, is how we create like brand guidelines, right? He was really thinking about how the brands should show up very consistently.
This is really sharp thinking in the 20s and 30s, way before Pantone.
Yeah, for sure. It's the innovation in branding, from packaging to communication to equipment. If the logo is right, if the color is right. So he created like those samples of Coca-Cola red.
This is still what you and your team work with, this kind of...
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we do this for all the global brands, right? Making sure that we have people around the world, agencies that work with our brands, know how to apply our brand identity. And very proud to be in a company that even CEOs, they act and think like designers, right? Making sure that everything is really well standardized and well crafted and showcasing the brand the best it should be.
Yeah, I think a lot of CEOs today could learn from this Mr. Woodruff.
Yeah, big time for sure, yes.
And this is his office basically on the day he walked out.
Right, yes. It's pretty well preserved. I think it shows, the importance that he had in our history.
How do you sleep at night, Rapha? I mean, all that legacy, and it's your watch. Have you got Mr. Woodruff standing at the end of the bed looking at you when you're trying to go to sleep?
I haven't seen him yet, but I hope I'm making him proud for sure. Woodruff was a president, but even the other heads of design that the company had, each one of them with their own personality, their own style. I think each one of them put like a brick in the history of those brands. Hopefully my brick will be there, and that's how I see the role, right? So really paving out the way for the ones that will come after me, right? So there will be several.
The intoxicating thing about your position and at Coca-Cola is the scale that you guys work at. So you can really make a difference in the world. And I've really enjoyed covering here in Atlanta the stories that we're doing, where I have seen that you're doing that.
Thank you for that. One thing that I love about the company is that because of the size, because of the reach and the scale, if you do something right, has a major impact. And that to me is very exciting. I think design can improve things, can change radically things, but whatever we do, I think because of the size of how we operate is so big, I think that the impact is huge. Right?
And I admired the selflessness too in that story about those bottles that you're creating out of plants. So that's an amazing technology that's completely Coca-Cola.
Right.
But you're throwing that IP out to the world. Here, anybody who wants to use it.
Yeah, it's interesting because this philosophy from the company really aligns with what I think about design. I'm, as a designer, representing a company that has brands that cater to people that sometimes are not even me, it's not even my profile. Me as a designer and my team, we are trying to be as selfless as possible. So that to me is a big philosophy of not imprinting my style to things.
Rapha, what would you say to a young designer, maybe a Latino young designer? What's your advice?
Yeah, I think I would say is like make sure that what you do, you love what you do, you know, because work is hard, right? So this is make sure that what you wake up every day to do something that you absolutely love, right? Because there will be hiccups, there will be obstacles. Nothing comes easy to anyone, right? So if you love, I think there is the motivation, right? The self-motivation to keep that going. And then make sure that what you're putting out has the best quality it could have, right? I think the world is full of crap. I think we need to elevate the quality in all senses, right? So these two things, right? So love and craft.